The No Fate channel, checking in. And I just got some sad and unfortunate information. The Warhouse gym that was owned and built from the ground up by Lynn and Rob Bailey is going to be closing effective immediately and closing permanently. They're only staying there as so long as to sell off the gym equipment that is on site. On this Dad's Home Gym series, I normally review a piece of gym equipment to help you decide if it's right for your home gym, but I thought I really felt strongly about making this video, just having a discussion about the Warhouse gym closing and basically talk about why it's closing, my thoughts about what that means for other local gyms in general, and the state of just gyms that are out there. So quickly talking about the history of the Warhouse gym, there was a previous gym in that spot. It was going out of business, and Rob Bailey, being a great business individual, just purchased it. I remember watching his YouTube channel years ago, because I'm an old timer and I'm a big, huge fan of Rob and Lynn Bailey. I remember watching him just buying it on his YouTube channel and then eventually building it from the ground up. And they didn't just have a gym. It wasn't just a really cool gym. They did so many charity events out of there, so many great events. They just ran it so well. And everyone that I know that went there, I never had a chance to, said it was like no other gym, both with regards to the equipment and the atmosphere. I had a bunch of friends from Massachusetts who went down to the Arnold, and on the way back made like a 4-hour detour just to get there and train for a day, and they never ever forgot it. So very, very sad to hear that news. So let's talk about why the gym is closing down. Now, there's tons of reasons that this could be happening, tons of reasons. We know that Rob and Lynn Bailey have multiple businesses going on, real estate businesses, Airbnbs. They've moved almost everything from Pennsylvania out to Montana, where they've essentially reset up shop with a lot of their businesses. So why are they closing down? And I happen to think it's Occam's razor. So Occam's razor is basically the philosophy that the most likely scenario is the real scenario. The most likely reason for the gym closing down is probably why the gym's closing down. And I have to imagine that the gym is closing down because it's not making money at all. It's 2020, it's COVID. There, I said it, I put it out there. We know what's going on. The gyms are closed. Even when they are open, it's so hard for them to stay afloat. So many gym members cancel their memberships, and so many states, especially here in Massachusetts, I'm sure Pennsylvania is fairly close, have such crazy restrictions that gym owners are barely breaking even, and many of them are not breaking even, okay? Because even though they're doing all these extra things to keep their customers safe and healthy, and their customer base is down, but their rent or their mortgages or their interest, their insurance, still the same cost. So I have to imagine that it's just not making money, and that's the reason that it's closing and not simply being sold off as a gym entity by itself. If it was making money and they could show on the books that it was making money, they probably have a really easy time selling it in general, or selling it for some sort of extra profit rather than just liquidating the inventory and then selling the building. I am certain that Rob does own the building. If memory serves, he did say that he owned the building or bought the whole building when he purchased the gym itself way back when. And I want to have a discussion. I want you to let me know in the comments below, why do you think that the Warhouse gym is closing? Drop it in the comments below. And second, and maybe just as importantly, what does this mean for other local gyms that aren't even as popular as the Warhouse gym? I mean, the Warhouse gym is on the map. I mean, in terms of when you think of big gyms or famous gyms, they're up there. At least on the New England side of things, in terms of the East Coast, I was certainly aware of that gym for a long, long time. Not only the great events that they've put on, but some of the great athletes that have come out of that gym, and just the presence of Rob and Lynn Bailey owning that gym and obviously stopping in from time to time. So let me know why you think that gym closed, and let me know what you think this means for the other gyms that are out there that are trying to stay afloat. I have my own personal opinion, and I'm going to tell you in a second, but I'd like to hear yours in the comments below before I kind of go off on my personal opinion. The reality is, I think my personal opinion is that home gyms are going to get bigger and bigger, and more people are going to be doing the home gym thing. Not because I think that home gyms are necessarily better than local gyms or have a better environment or even better equipment, because I think they fall flat on all three of those compared to a good local gym. I think that local gyms are going to be too hard-pressed to keep the doors open. I think the money is going to be too tight in terms of the balance sheets, trying to make everything work out because of the restrictions with how many people they can have in the building at once and the restrictions with cleaning. And then all it takes is like one member or to get COVID and then be traced back to them and they have to close for a number of days. You guys get the idea of all the headaches that they have that are going to be costing them money but not actually bringing them in any extra money. The only recourse that these gyms would have to do is to raise their rates. And frankly, that's probably going to just cause more members to drop off if they do raise their rates, especially if you're a member that you're on the bubble, if your rate goes up. It's really difficult. It's really tough. It's really struggling. And I don't know how much bleeding is going to continue until the home gym, or excuse me, until local gyms will balance out. There'll be so few local gyms and so many people looking for gyms that they'll balance out with being profitable. And I think hopefully the good gyms will remain open, but I'll be honest with you, I thought from everything I'd heard that the Warhouse gym was not only a good gym, but a great gym, an amazing gym. So I'm very, very surprised that it is just literally going out of business, that there's no sale, there's no attempt to sell it to someone else or even sell it to someone else with a different name so that they can't keep the name, but they can keep it open as a gym. Props to Lynn and Bailey and props to Rob Bailey. They already said that anyone that has like a membership isn't going to be charged for the duration of the closing process, and they're going to be doing the right things by their members, which out of those two, we expect no less. But it makes me very scared for and worried about the local gyms that are really struggling to stay afloat. My fingers are crossed that they can, ride the hard times that we're in until they can see some greener pastures, because even though I am committed to the home gym lifestyle, largely in part because of my children and because of my timetable on my work schedule and life schedule, I do want to eventually go back to a local gym, and I hope there's some to go back to. If you came this far in the video, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, drop your comments below. I'd love to get your opinion. As usual, thanks for watching, and don't save anything for the trip back.